Yeah, when Rick Mail died, I just thought that's a bit sad. So I bought this mug. I mean, it has Adrian Empson as well, but I thought that's all right, you know.
Mate, that's fucking killer.
Well, I mean, Rick Mail and
what's this? Now something else has popped up. This meeting is being recorded by the host or participant.
That's me.
So I just press got it?
You don't have to press anything. You're not recording. I'm recording.
I know, but this thing is in the middle of the screen now. Okay, got it. Okay, it's gone.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You got
decline. That's all right.
There you go.
That was the guy who was ringing me about the Irish tour. So that's good.
All right. Okay. Yeah. When I went on somewhere or other and thought I need something with a Rick Mail face on it, you know. When I was in California for Frost and Fire Festival, do you remember that band from Detroit, Black Death? They're like a speed metal band, all black dudes, like amazing fucking speed metal band. And they were playing in the second room at Frost and Fire, but the bass player was this big, tall, skinny white dude with a cricket hat on, and he was just wearing this old white t-shirt with just Rick Mail's face on it. And I was like, it's fucking great. And I thought, he was just like, yeah, man, cool. And I was like, yep. And we just stood there looking at each other. I was like, I think I need something with a Rick Mail on it. I mean, you know.
All I've got's this. So I bought this because I don't live anywhere.
Well, it's certainly not because you're sweet, but you know.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
The Irish promoter just said, he goes, we've got more gigs. He goes, it seems you're quite liked here. He goes, he mustn't know you very well.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. Well, yeah, things are, I mean, you know, so things are like that are able to happen now. I mean, our cabal of, you know, health, whatever they were, sort of like those sort of little monster guys in the Dark Crystal or whatever that meet and go, they decided they had enough. At 9 a.m, they went, I don't think we should do this anymore. And at 9 p.m, our leader, Mihol, just stood on the steps outside the parliament and went, okay, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Yeah. And a week later, all gone. And it's like, it's not even in the news here anymore. Like, it's just over. It's fucking crazy. Like, we were just like gobsmacked, whatever you want to call it, just like, holy shit, they just went, enough. And because, you know, you look at the shit that's happening in fucking Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Austria, fucking France, still hanging on to the last authoritarian vestiges of whatever this pantomime is, and our lot just went, bollocks to it anyway. So I don't know. Very strange, but yeah. So therefore, a tour like that can now fucking happen, you know?
Oh, indeed. I wasn't.
Just great pictures.
Yeah.
You know,
so what's a particularly posh tipple? Well, depends where you come from, sir. Well, we come from Hammersmith, so half of miles.
Well, you know what? Do you know if you look back at them, they're what you call the two characters on bottom were from this thing they used to do called the Dangerous Brothers. Did you ever see that?
Dangerous Brothers.
Yeah, like one of their sketch characters. So I'm going back, and there's like a big kind of like sort of weird old VHS TV special, about 20 minutes, half an hour, of the Dangerous Brothers, and it's just mainly them smashing each other with shit and destroying things. And then they just made a bottom out of it, you know.
Well, they've always been like that show. When I first saw Bottom, I thought this is just like Tom and Jerry, you know.
Yeah.
it's not people doing cartoon violence. Like,
yeah, well, that's what it is exactly. It's like sort of old sort of vaudeville, or as you said, well, it's like cartoon violence or something, you know. I went and rewatched it there in the lockdown, and I still enjoyed it, you know.
Mate, it's fucking brilliant. It's still brilliant. You know that one with the gas guy?
Yeah.
The gas man.
Yeah.
Every time they hit him with the fry pan. It's like a cartoon. It's just ridiculous, right?
my favorite bit is when he's trying to Eddie's trying to teach him chess, you know, and they have and they've all got shrimps and all this kind of stuff lined up.
Spider-Man.
And he just goes attack, and just sprays the shit everywhere. I love it.
It's just, mate, I love it. I think that show holds up great.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's such a shame. I mean, it wasn't even, what was he, only like 62, 63 or something, really, wasn't he, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't old.
No.
You know, I actually watched, I didn't watch it, I saw a bit of it the other night, the American Werewolf in London.
Oh, right.
And what's interesting is that guy in the bottom episode that plays Mr. Rottweiler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Good.
The big guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the barman.
Is he?
He's the barman in the American Werewolf in London, right?
Right. Yeah.
But and what's so funny is I saw that scene the other night, and then it flashes around the guys in the bar because one of the Americans goes, "So what's that pentangle mean?" That's when the bar goes silent. It flashes, and Rick Mayall's in it.
Really?
Yeah, it just flashes to this guy, and there's Rick Mayall, really young. Like,
the thing I take away from as a kid from watching American Werewolf in London is never trust a man whose eyebrows meet in the middle, kind of, or whatever that is, you know. But it's a long time since I saw that movie. Does it still stand up?
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's got Jenny Agutter in it, Agutter in it, whatever her name is too. That nurse. Was she from The Prisoner or one of those shows? One of those sort of early sort of
like
English kind of James Bondy, maybe the Avengers or something. I think she might have been the Hot Chicken Avengers.
Maybe that's like 80. What year is that movie? 81, 82, 83 or something?
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
Maybe it could be even 79, 78, could be back then. I mean, I only realised the other day, I didn't know that Halloween, John Carpenter's first one, was 78.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I thought that was like an 80s slasher thing or something.
And I like the way that he just wanted to make the music himself, but wasn't a musician at all. And so almost invented single-handedly this sort of like
I watched
style, you know?
I watched lots of interviews with filmmakers and that. And I watched him where he got that rhythm from, because his father was a musician. His father, he goes, all that was when my father taught me 5/4 time.
Okay.
Right. So instead of just 4/4 time, he goes, well, this is like 5/4. We get and he goes, and then I just did that on the piano, and it's the best bit of fucking horror music ever.
Yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That would be 6/4, though, wouldn't it? Yeah. That'd be 6/4.
Don't ask me. I didn't do me. I'm a song drummer. I'm not a fucking sheet drummer.
I just listened to people who knew about it and then regurgitated the things they said because it made me seem like I understood more. But you know, the Simon from Primordial, he did teach me one or two things that stuck with me. 6/8. He goes 6/8. He goes, think about it like this: rashers and sausages. I was like, what? And he goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rashers and sausages. Rashers and sausages. I was like, oh yeah. Because Primordial is in that fucking all the time.
Galloping 6/8 time.
And I always, that's how you teach an idiot something. I refer it to something so fucking, childish and, as mundane as rashers and sausages. And I was like, all right.
But mind you, all drumming syncopation you get taught with your drum teacher when you're going 1 eyelet, 2 eyelet, 3 eyelet, 4 eyelet, 1 eyelet, 2 eyelet, 3 eyelet, 4 eyelet, 1 and 2 and 3 eyelet, 4 eyelet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and 1 eyelet, 2 eyelet, 3 eyelet. So you get the difference between triplets and
that's
4 4s.
That's going to be a good bit for people just listening to that. You're not going to see your stupid fucking face doing that. Yeah. Well,
but it makes a lot of sense because you're tying the sound into your brain and your fucking body, right? And so,
Yeah, and you're not using complicated sort of metaphors or things to explain it. Yes, rashers and sausages stuck in my head. So there you go. If you don't know what 6/8 is, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, whatever. Blah blah blah. So what's going on? I mean, the obligatory first question should be, what do you think about Jimmy Carr? But yeah, I mean, you've probably been asked that like 20 times recently, have you? No,
I haven't done many interviews at all.
All right.
What do I think about Jimmy Carr, or what do I think about the kerfuffle over a joke?
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? My favorite response was some woman from the SNP who said we have to figure out a way of catching and penalizing the people who laughed. Wow. I just wonder, how do people quite so stupid attain some levels of influence and power? I suppose that's really it.
Well, that's how they get it. Yeah, I guess so. Oh yeah, well, it's very difficult to do decent comedy to people who aren't very intelligent or have been, because that joke has nothing to do. When I heard that joke, I thought, well, it's got nothing to do about laughing at gypsies being killed. That's got to do with how you actually don't take other people's on board as.
Yeah. It's exactly for somebody who understands the sort of meta joke there. It is Jimmy basically saying, well, there are all these other people that you never hear of because society doesn't, doesn't give them less value or less worth or all these kind of stuff. And so he's pointing out, actually, he's pointing out the opposite of what the joke infers. But you have to be a complete fucking idiot. And also, again, it's the crowd are there. They paid in to see him. It's his special. You watch it. I don't know. And then you've got like fucking people in Parliament saying we're going to find some way to, hold Netflix accountable. And I don't know. I think this last 2 years has.
Yeah, but they don't want to hold that Netflix accountable for putting cuties on there, do they?
No, well, I mean, well, then they should be. I mean, if this
like
is
a show about pedophilia, just promoting pedophilia from the satanic cabal, right?
Yeah.
No. We've got to get to. Also, that Jimmy Carr joke said to me, like, well, guess what? Gypsies are still persecuted in your mind.
Yeah.
Right, because they're still an outcast, right?
Yeah,
that's
it's exactly. He's actually stating the complete obvious or opposite to what the joke, fundamentally implies, and everybody gets that because they understand whatever you can call it. Maybe I sound pretentious, but the meta narrative or the back narrative or whatever, they go, oh fucking hell, I never thought about that before, because he's also introducing a figure which most people don't realize. So in a way, it's also educational on the horrors of this period of history. I don't know. It's quite. I just wondered what your fucking take on all that. I mean, I figured as much, but it's quite incredible that.
Well, I do this. Well, it's incredible, and it isn't. It's not incredible because of the environment we're in. So simply the reaction of these people in this ideological sort of nightmare that they've all sort of decided to get brainwashed into. Or it's always more frustrating. But I think that at this point in human, I've been here 50 fucking odd years, and now we're discussing things that were just normal like 20 years ago. Like what, so do you think that men can get pregnant? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And doesn't the West, which is it's so science obsessed, it's swapped priests for scientists, right? And so, and didn't they have when we grew up? Wouldn't a couple of biologists come on and sit there and boast about how they discovered hormonal systems and the different things that they did? We used to sit there and talk about this, and teach this in class. See how intelligent we are. We've worked all these systems out. Now the very system that promoted all that is going, no, it doesn't exist.
Well,
it's insanity.
Well, I mean, I think,
but everything's inverted. So
yeah, I think what it is, it's fundamentally in the last 10, 20, let's say 20 years, but specifically the last 10, the idea that, let's say transnational corporations or the ruling elite, whatever you want to call it, whatever name you place upon it, kind of went, well, how can we have them at each other's throats with this divide and conquer while we get on with doing what we're doing? Here you go. Here's the culture war. Here's wokeness. Here's whatever else. So you guys can pull each other apart over disseminating biological fact or whatever you want to call it. Well, we'll just get on with, mining for coltan in the middle of Africa with child slaves or whatever. Just, because it's perfect for my big companies because they can say they're equitable and they can change their, modus operandi to anthropology and, how much we care while still remaining the same. And, they don't have to change anything. They don't have to stop. As we say, remember when we were growing up or, you had, companies were held responsible for when they polluted a river in India or something, Union Carbide or something. Nobody talks about that anymore. We're arguing about fucking emojis. Well, do you know what I mean? They created this thing. They created this thing and they just went, here you go, you fuckwits. argue about this while we continue doing the fucking same thing. It's just, it's complete. It's not even smoke and mirrors. It's like it's beyond that. It's we've been invited into a pantomime and we're all taking part. And now you get this woman from the S&P going, we need to hold people accountable. It's like, so you're telling people what they kind of laugh at. The last 2 years of like, I think there's just this huge swell of like childish authoritarianism that was just under the surface with all of these people, because now they've had 2 years of emergency rule. Sorry, there was I said about fucking 40 stupid things there in a row, but you know what I mean? Look, I can do this with a swivel. But you know what I mean? It's just you're being invited to take part in a psychodrama, pantomime.
Oh yeah, it's a complete sort of dance macabre, isn't it? It's just a dance of death, really. It's just a satanic pantomime. Everything's inverted. Everything's. This is how I just. This is how I. Well, you know, to me, this is how I see it. Your systems are gutted, right? Your institutions are gutted. They're not giving you.
What do you mean gutted? What do you mean gutted?
Well. The cops aren't on your side. The government's not on your side. The job centre's not on your side. All these things have been gutted. Like I mean, your government sold off some of your natural resources way back in the 80s, didn't they? They're selling off your country,
yeah,
right? So you're a slave nation, right? Because now you're we're going to sell our electricity. Why would you sell your electricity to an outside source that can decide to cut it off? Right, so you're a slave nation. You sell your farms to something else that now has dominion over this. Right, this is the necessity to feed your country. Right? So you sell these things. So now you're a slave nation. I think that's why they changed the name of customer to consumer, which is another psychological thing. Because now you're they're the host and you're the consumer. Right. So you used to be a customer. The customer was always right. Why? Well, because we're going to provide the service and we've got to have the best service to get the customers. But now it's like, well, we've monopolized all the services and now you're a consumer.
Yeah.
Right. You're like a leech, right? Which also goes into the psychological programming of climate change. Why? Because it's your fault, you creatures, right? You're just consuming, right? So all these things tie in together, right? And when I mean with everything gutted, it's like everything has no substance anymore, but they put a big fluorescent light on the front telling you how brilliant it is, right? But if you go through the front door, it's just an empty warehouse with an old filing cabinet, a steel chair, and a dusty corner like an X-Files set, right?
But it feels like in the last 2 years the pretense of even having a curtain drawn across all this stuff is just gone. They've just gone. Like you look at what's happening in Canada, and you'd go, Trudeau's behaving like a 1970s Eastern European dictator. And someone who pretends to, gives lip service to, minority rights and this and the other, like, you're behaving like an Enver Honecker or like a mild dictator from, I'm not going to say Ceausescu or something, but like, I'm trying to pick some Moldovans. It's like, what the fuck? How? I think that it's just the pretense of even, like I said, the curtain being drawn across some of this is just gone now. It's just like,
yeah. Well, I think
we are against you fundamentally as an individual.
Well, I think it's. I only come up with theories. It's almost like it's just. Here's the funny thing that people just don't think anything's going on. Everything that's going on has been in front of your face for fucking, well, you could say thousands of years, right? But let's just go in our time frame, right? It's all the secrets are hidden in front of you. You can just go to government websites, right? You don't have to go to conspiracy theory books. You can go to the website. They will tell you what they're doing.
Well, that's what the World Economic Forum is doing. Right. The World Economic Forum made a video in which and they showed us and went, you will own nothing and be happy, and blah 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 blah. It's like people go, it's conspiracy. It's like, well, no, it's there. They made the video.
It's on the fucking website. See, sometimes I think, well, why not reveal it now, right? How long can you hold it, right? Because also I think, is this a test, right, to see how many of them still don't see?
I think, yeah. Well, it's clear that an awful lot of, I don't ascribe everything. That saying, don't always put down to malice what you can't to incompetence. I don't think there's one umbrella structure, because I think it's too chaotic. I think the world is too chaotic, and I think there's too many moving parts, and I think there's an awful lot of grifting cowards. And the fundamental concept of that human beings are risk averse, and it's fight or flight, and people will flee. And so therefore there is you can't assume bad faith on the behalf of every actor. Like a friend of mine said to me, how come do you think Ireland released all the rules? And I said, well, maybe because we're in this way of looking at things, we assume always bad faith on behalf of all of our health officials, but that's not true. It can't be true. Some not. So the percentage, the needle is always in the middle, I think, of both sides of the argument. So I don't always assume bad faith, but certainly you're right in the sense that these plans or these ideas or these things, they're out there for anyone to read. And I think I'm pretty sure the people who made those plans are the same ones who injected the words conspiracy and theory into our modern vernacular and culture. So as people, like, I know people just go, it's conspiracy theory, and I go, well, did you read it or do you know anything about it? Nah. So it's just an easy way to go, don't just say I don't know. But no one ever says, do you notice in modern society, nobody ever goes, I don't know about that. No one ever says that. No one.
Mate, tell me about it. I mean, because the egoic desire to be correct, right? Here's what I say sometimes when people go to me, so you think I'm brainwashed, Steve? I'll go, yeah, like we all are.
Yeah, we all are. Yeah.
Like why do you think you got out of it?
Yeah.
Like you went to school, you watched TV, bang, you got some, right? So secondly, don't let your ego get in the way because you haven't been duped by idiots. Right. You've been duped by black magic sorcerers who go back thousands of years. Well, you've been duped. Oh, totally. Yeah. Right. You've been duped by the media, right? When they make an ad, they don't just film the actors and whip it down to fucking editing and put it on the TV. Now they've got 55 psychologists in a room looking at it.
Well, I mean,
right, going right, tweak that bit.
Well, I mean, look at the people who were, advising Sager, for example. They had more behavioral psychologists than they did economists, or somebody there going, hey, A, the economy's going to be ruined, and B, suicides and all these other screenings and other things and cancer check-ins are going to go like a tsunami of other stuff because people are going to not be able to go and see doctors and something. But they had more behavioral psychologists trying to do what they call, the nudge. You ever read that book? How to nudge the public into accepting all new rules and regulations. And this is basically, once you coerce people through fear, as you say, this fight or flight thing means, I read this beautiful analogy of it, was that it's in our hunter gatherer past, or our genetics, and that if you're in the forest and you hear a rustle coming towards you, it makes more sense to fucking run than stand and wait to see what it is. So they play, but in this instance, in the whole lockdown restrictions concept, I think they're the people rustling the tree, so to speak, or behind the rustle, so they know what is coming, but they play on people's fears in order to to nudge them into accepting all of these things.
Well, this is just old school, and then it's complex. I mean, it's complex in the sense that so many things you have to do it. That's why I find it funny when even if some people are waking up, I hate that expression, but learning some stuff perhaps they haven't listened to before. I don't want to put anyone down or whatever happens to someone else, but to me it's not, because people go, do you want me to believe that, Steve? And I'm like, no, learning about new information is about believing stuff. It is at first because you get so excited, right? Like anything, right? Oh, look at this, right? Then you realize that, hey, look, there's misinformation in here too. Right? And then as the years go by, you realize what? Well, some of your belief systems break down, right? Because it's not about you believing things. You need your internal belief systems that you've been programmed with by the brainwashing to break down, because those programs are making these people go, no, it's bullshit. That's bullshit, right? Because when you give them the information, it's like an algorithm. It goes in, they've done nothing about the program. They just go, no, it's bullshit. Yeah. That's bullshit. This is my simplistic way of describing it, right? But that's what it's like, because you see their reaction, right? So when you also, the entire society is constantly putting you into fight or flight. It's stress related, right? Everything's stress related. Taxes, money, stress, things, right? Wars, right? They're socially engineering you and traumatizing you constantly.
Of course.
Right? So the cultures are traumatized. The psyche's traumatized. Yeah. You're in fight or flight, right? So you're in this state of fear. Then when you're in the state of fear, and when you want to go deep, I heard a great quote the other day: when you shine fear into the unconscious, you see demons. right? When you look into the unconscious in complete lack of fear, you see angels, right? Because the unconscious is where everything's fucking going on.
Yeah.
Right. Where you know, what is advertising? Why have they got 55 psychologists in that room to work out how to make this ad go into you, right? Well, because the unconscious needs to be hit, right? Well, so everybody's so the church first got into your unconscious, didn't they? Right?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
but it's perfect.
Here's where I see how you can. Here's one thing I think where how have they got so many people under this spell? Because I look at it like this: there's always middlemen. The church came in, right. We'll use our Western church, even though they're all connected, they're all the same, right? But it came in and gives what? It gives you a patriarchal outside father figure, right? That's God, right? In the Christian sense, it's outside of there. It's a God in the clouds, or it's outside, and it's a salvationist figure, right? And in Christianity, there's not many goddesses promoted.
No,
right? You have Sophia and that, but that's in Gnosticism and all, right? So then this is where the church has created a patriarchy. Why? Because the real work is done in the feminine narrative dynamic. Because in the unconscious and the conscious, the male dynamic is the conscious mind. This is action. This is how shamanism works on a simple level, right? That's the conscious mind. That's masculine, right? This doesn't mean just men, because women have masculine definitions in them as well, right? But that's the masculine side. The feminine side is the unconscious, right? This is like the ocean. Femininity is the ocean. Men are the waves. Right? Consciousness is the waves that comes out. That's action. That's the conscious world where dynamic things happen. This is masculine energy. Then it pulls back into the unconscious. That's the feminine dynamic. That's the yin and yang, right? This is where you're sitting in dualism, right? But what did the church do? Well, that wafer that goes in your tongue, right, and that blood that you're supposed to drink, well, I read that's supposed to be period blood. Why? Because they've inverted it. The real dynamic is supposed to be going into the feminine, into the unconscious. This is where shamans go. But they put it into salvationist outside patriarchal figure, then put priests in between it, like Ticketek, middlemen, right, between you and fucking everything that you already are. And so to me, what have they done now? Now that's an archetype within the collective Western mind of what? An outside salvationist figure. How do I get redemption? Through my redemption of my absconding of sin, or I go to hell, but if I can be saved by this outside figure, well, that's a salvationist fucking archetype. Now they have the salvationist archetype thrown over to science. Right? They got rid of the priests. We'll have the scientists now, right? And what have you got? Well, we got a jab. What's that? Well, that's an outside salvationist archetype. Everything's going to come from outside of yourself. Here's the great trick on humanity. No salvation is coming from outside of yourself. Everything's being manifested from within. There is no salvation from the outside because you're creating the outside. This is like grasping an illusion.
Sure. I mean,
because you're creating it. This is where they fucking trick you, right? This is where, and so how do these people not believe all this shit? I think because they know how to trigger archetypes. So it's unconscious. It's like when Star Wars are so popular. Why? Because that guy knows about fucking archetypical stories that go into the collective unconscious. If you listen to Joseph Campbell, I bet if you deconstructed Star Wars, he'd tell you this is the typical archetypical narrative, which is going into the hero's journey, which is in so many cultures. That George Lucas is revered as what a great artist. I mean, Steven Spielberg can do it. He knows how to do your unconscious, like in Jaws. And in Duel, his earliest films, you never see you do see the shark a bit for dynamic effect, but really he uses those barrels, right? So when the barrels appear, you're scared, and he's in the ocean, which represents the unconscious. That's why that film works so fucking well, because what's in the bottom of the ocean? Who knows? Like your unconscious, right? Right. It's a scary world where most people won't go, right?
Yeah, I mean,
like when he does Duel, the truck one, you never see the guy, right? You just see and it still holds up, that fucking film.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant, right? Because it just that thing, it's so ominous. That thing just appears, and it's just driven by a bloke, but it doesn't. It's not a bloke.
Yeah,
it's a monster.
I mean, certainly the psychology of making people follow, for example, in this example, the rules and restrictions, as you say, that sort of religious or spiritual aspect is lent into in order, because they have to have faith, as you say, in these scientists. They have to have faith in these structures. If they lose those faith, which clearly people are beginning to do with all other structures and institutions of governance, whether it's the media, whatever, but they have to have faith. And I had this argument with many of my friends over the last 2 years. One friend said to me, he goes, look, I've got 3 kids. I can't believe what you believe. I can't believe what you believe. He goes, even if you might be right about the things you observe, whether the structures of coercion, he goes, if I believe what you believe or spent time in your head, I can't get up in the morning and bring the kids to school. And he goes, I get it, but I can't open the door, because he just said, I have to have faith that the people in those institutions are trying to do the right thing. And I said, okay, could you meet me halfway? He goes, no. I said, could you meet me 10% to just even think about it? He goes, I don't think so. And I said, okay, well, I said, for the sake of you, our argument, because we're in different positions in life, and that you do need to have it's perfectly, however way you think is the right frame of mind to bring up your kids. I completely understand that. And he just said, I got to leave that shit at the door, whether you're right or whether you're wrong, because I can't wake up and think like that. And it was a very revealing point in the last 2 years, because I went, yeah, that I respect, because he didn't say you're wrong, or he didn't go, you're a conspiracy theorist. He didn't go, he didn't try and fight me or push back.
He's just laying out the way he's going to deal with the situation.
Yeah. And you are right. I think, there's a lot to unpack in what you just said, but I do definitely think that the psychology of leaning into that religious identification, which is a very sort of innate thing that we find very hard to quantify, institutions of power leaning into that in order to coerce us, as in the nudge, this, like, as you say, faith in the scientists, faith in the experts, you must have faith in all of these things, when in actuality, all you need to know is Pfizer made $32 billion in the last year. That's follow the money. Follow the money is a far better mantra through which to judge much of this,
See, I hear people go, follow the money, or they want the money. And I go, yeah, no. Right? Of course there's money involved, right? Mm. But if you think that they really need money...
Well, okay, money is...
They make the money.
Yeah. Well, okay, of course. If you look at it like that, it's okay. It's not only about money. It is also about, obviously, power, coercion. It's about the simple process of trying to move people onto a digital grid. Look at Trudeau trying to shut down people's access to their finances and the money. That's straight out of the CCP's playbook, which is dissent from the state, and we're going to close down your ability to make a living. That is pure authoritarianism 101. And if if everybody's moved onto that digital grid, then you can just go, literally, phone is red today, you have no access to your account for dissent. To me, that's the world they would like to create, in my opinion.
I knew that was the plan
25 years ago.
In 2008, when I did my second comedy CD, when I did the Cashless Society routine, which is what do you think they're going to do with the Cashless Society? Well, remember the joke. The joke was so how are you going to give money to homeless people?
Yeah.
How are you going to give money to strippers? How are you going to buy illegal drugs?
Yeah.
Right? The irony being, you're going to have the perfect thing to chop them up with, but nothing to snort the fuckers through.
Exactly.
But plus,
except now add houses and property and all sorts of other things.
Plus I knew then, well, what can you do with this thing? Well, you can simply it's not in your hands anymore. They can just go, can't get it.
Yeah.
Right. Plus they could do this. They could put you under a house arrest. Right. Well, your card only works in a 5-kilometer radius.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Or as soon as you do this, it just disappears. Or guess what? You've got nothing.
Yeah.
Right. We've got you on a fucking leash, right?
Yeah.
Which is great, because these systems have to crash anyway.
Yeah. And that's
because they're prison systems. They're all systems. So when people go, see, if this all stopped tomorrow, if it stopped tomorrow, I don't think that they've stopped.
Yeah, sure.
They haven't fucking stopped. You don't bring something this grand to the fucking place and just, sorry about that.
Yes. No. But don't forget that this structure, this plan, is a Western thing. It's not rolling. It's not happening in South America, or it's not happening in Africa or the Middle East, or even in Southeast Asia. Like, this is a European sort of thing that's kind of unfolding or unrolling at the moment. And I mean, as I said, look at the countries who've just gone bollocks to it, whether it's Lithuania, Czech Republic, Sweden, Denmark, UK, Ireland. Like, it's the idea that there's one mass consensus, I think, is untrue. I think there's degrees of it, but it is. I do agree fundamentally in the principle that what many institutions of governance would love is all of these things to just fall into place and have everyone on a digital grid through which they can, mine all their data, sell it, market them, and then shut them down when needs be. And so the last 2 years has made things that had no precedence now have precedence. And that's the argument I have had with a lot of people is they go, oh, Alan, were we ever free? And I go, you know what? We were freer in the sense that 2.5 years ago, I could wake up on a Tuesday morning and go, you know what? I got the money. I'm going to Bali today now. I'm going to start a new life. Or whatever. You had the freedom to move, to go. And all of a sudden, there were constraints on all of that. There were constraints on your goals, your ambitions, the things you could do in life, because the collectivist ideal behind all of the restrictions was this collectivist authoritarianism, which comes from the furthest reaches of the far left, not the normal left, which basically I think states that the collectivist good means that you sacrifice all civil liberties and human rights for the greater good. And therefore, so the biomedical security state is sold to you as something that you can, and here's where I tie back to what you just said, that you can hand in your tithe as the new religion. The biomedical security state is almost a religious concept there, with medical experts as the new diocese or new papacy. You know what I mean? Which I think comes around to what you're talking about.
Scientists and experts and fucking doctors have been fucking brought in over the last 20 years. Everything in every newspaper. Scientists say. Yeah. Scientists say. See, I don't think like fucking most people. I don't know. Well,
Well,
to me, this yeah. Well, I just, people are still trapped in. We come from apes. Okay, do you? Well, I don't. And obviously, a lot of you fucking do. Right.
Yeah.
So these are like to me, these are great beliefs that you've got to break down. So, to me, this is how I've got to a point now where black and white thinking, which is not particularly intelligent, but I could use it on certain things. Like to me, if there's a figurehead in the world that everybody knows about. Right? There's something suspect here. How do you know it? Why does everybody know it?
Well, it's because
they've been put out there for a reason. Right?
Well, it's all about becoming a citizen of the world as opposed to your locality. So all your local cultures and traditions, or your local gods, or whatever was part of your society, 100, 2,000, or 1,000, 2,000 years ago. All of that's been, as you say, conglomerated, just like media ownership, into one god. From whether it was zoomorphic deities before, it's now just one thing. So all of your local, maybe there was, you take wherever country you're from, Peru or something. You have, that's a bad example. You have your localized sort of traditions and influences, and the idea that we're kind of nowadays, I think we're citizens of nowhere. Do you know, we're invited to be citizens of nowhere,
That's how I describe multiculturalism, right? Because they say multiculturalism, or diversity, right? But it's like Neapolitan ice cream, right? You get strawberry and chocolate and vanilla, right? But that's diversity.
Careful.
No, but that's diversity. Right? That ice cream, here's the strawberry flavor, here's the chocolate flavor, here's that flavor, right? But we've decided to get our cultures and just mix it into a gloop, right?
Yeah.
See how diverse it is? Yeah, but what is it? It's nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that the smoke screen is the emotional and moral and ethical and altruistic alignment with that, but in reality, it's a smoke screen probably for the financial desires of multinational corporations who just have given us the fluff on the top to talk about, but it's
to me, it's deeper than just money and corporations. It's massive. It's been down fucking hardcore down the rabbit hole you want
to go. well, I don't know. I still play football 3 times a week. What can I do? I've got to keep my eye in. It's I think
it's like this. When you just said, some of your friends said, yeah, but were we really free before?
Yeah, I fucking hate this sentence.
Yeah, but see, I understand what they're saying if they're saying it from the
no, but what he was trying to do was shut me down and go like, Stop complaining about the lockdowns and restrictions.
Yeah, well, see, that's a different thing.
And I'm like, well, fuck you, man, because this is unprecedented to lock people in their houses. And can't you see that now this has precedence? What, they're going to do this again and again and again and again. And so are you willing to accept your, as you say, spiritual, supplication to this biomedical security religious state that you've been asked to sort of believe in? That your safety, they have your safety at heart, which obviously they don't. And I would say to him, like, hey man, has a bad thing ever happened in history? Yes or yes? Could this be one? Yes or yes? If so, let's discuss what it could be. There's no way out of that argument. Like, it has. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I can't deal with this level of. I mean, if somebody,
I can see your frustration.
Yeah, it's just like, if you've not read a book or don't know, just say, I don't know, man, maybe, and then discuss. Well, it could be, and then as my mate, Matt from Razor of Occam, scientist Matt, he just goes to me. He's listening to me going blah 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 blah, and he goes, mate, probability. I go, what do you mean? Because he's a mathematician. He goes, forget a lot of this stuff. Let's just plot a line between A and B and examine with mathematical probability what is the probability of that happening. Remove your emotional ties to it, remove your anger, remove all this stuff, and go, let's say, place a percentage on the possibility of this happening in a stark way.
Yeah, but I can imagine how he'd do it. I've never spoken to the guy, but I've heard the way he's thrown some barbs towards Keith.
And it's great, but he just said to me, he goes, the laboratory leak. What do you really think? Think about all of the motives, all of the factors at play, and all the people, and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, and then evaluate it. And I thought, okay. And then so he goes, now try and apply this to other things sometimes. Not always, But I just found it a very helpful way of thinking when I get too bogged down in the weeds. Or, as I said, as I always said, as I told my friend last week, John, who used to be in Cruachan, I was saying to him, like, John Ryan, that is, he was just saying to me, like, don't always attribute to malice what you can to incompetence, etc. As in, we can't always assume bad faith.
You must know by now that I don't believe any of these people's opinions. So.
No, but I'm just trying to
I'm not interested in these people still trying to shrug off things through probability and that. I've done enough research for 25 years to know that there's mischief at hand by fucking big ruling corporations, monarchies, ancient things, Vatican, Zionism. So I'm not interested in this fucking.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Maybe they just mucked up. Maybe they just made a mistake.
Steve, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that neither is it 0% or 100%. That the truth is, again, somewhere in the middle. Sometimes it moves up.
Well, I don't claim to know the truth. So.
No, I'm just saying that. As we said before, it's neither a black and white binary narrative. That's the problem. Is that we're invited to say, for example, you see this at the moment, the arguments in relation to vaccination. They've made it into a binary choice between good and evil. Choose good and evil, but it's not that simple. It's complicated. So I agree with you in the sense that I think that just these things are, again, just fucking complicated with nuance and context that nobody.
Well, see.
Back to the Jimmy Carr joke. Back to the Jimmy Carr joke. No one wants the nuance and context of what that joke actually is. They just want a simple answer. Jimmy Carr's evil. Cancel him. Or
yeah.
You know what I mean? Jimmy Carr's good.
How they don't see that as just tyrannical insanity. That's what's so frustrating about these people, because sitting there in front of them going, you can't tell people what to laugh at.
No.
Like, what are you talking about? So it's like saying who can breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Which they're totally into.
Yeah.
Because that's one of their things. Well, who can breathe?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
So and as we were getting to before, when
sorry.
people say,
I was trying to derail your stream of consciousness.
Well, as you said, but these people are just trying to distract by going, well, were we really free before? And see, depends. I understand your sense of freedom. Going, hey, I'm going to get a barley. But that's only one
example
of freedom. That's the ability to take your personal self in in the world linear time in this space. Right? But there's other freedom, right? There's the freedom of what? Of your internal world, right? Sure. How many shackles have they got in your internal world? Right?
Yeah, but I agree with you.
Right,
but I'm trying to be more practical about it,
None of us are free in the sense of what? Well, we have to pay to be here. Right. We're the only species on Earth that pays to be here. Who do we pay? Right? I've been doing comedy about this for years. What is this fucking spider structure that's around you that's going, hey, if you park there for too long, you have to give us £200. If you do this, who are these people?
Yeah.
But people think, well, that's the system, Steve. It's just, well, no, okay. I'm not saying that we just tomorrow dismantle it and we all just live in the fields, right? It won't work like that. right. So, but look at it, right? Oh, you want some land? You got to buy it off us. Excuse me. What? Where did you get the land?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
What is this system that's got the land? I'm on the earth, and one day my body will die. Therefore, someone else can have them.
Sure.
Right. So can you see what nature's showing you?
Sure. Yeah. No.
Right? This is constantly moving, right? So to put fences around it and to statify it, to claim it is so anti-life because it's static. Right. This is one reason why Muslims won't use usury or see it as a sin, because they see money that must be moving.
What's usury?
Right. Usury is making cash off cash, so interest.
Oh, interest. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So which is the later, like Middle Eastern banks, in the sense of not the ones that they've owned and everything, but the ones that decided, because in Islam at least, usury is seen as a sin. Right? Because you can't make cash off cash, but one of the it's seen as a sin, so you can't hoard cash and then dole it out and get us extra. They're like no, right? And also on the energetic way they see that as a sin is because they see it must be in motion to create. Right? You can't hoard it. Once you hoard it, it's dead, because it's a life-giving thing like this. So, which is what life does. It's constantly moving.
Maybe they're behind Bitcoin then.
Right. Right. So it's constantly moving. So who are these people that hoarded land? Well, this all started way back 1066 when they started these treaties. They put this around that. We create land barons. Yeah. Right. So what have we got? So now we've subjugated the earth into plots. Right. This also affects the psyche. Right, because everything's connected, right? So anything that's being done is affecting the psyche, the collective psyche, how things are fucking seen, how things are done. Now you see this as quite normal. You can see this in modern medical science because they have kidney experts, but the whole thing's joined. You can't compartmentalize. Oh, I just look at the kidney. No, but see, the kidney's connected to everything, right? So when the kidney is disrupted, everything's disrupted. Why? Because this is a system that's working in harmony, right? Most of us aren't in harmony. I'm certainly not. Our bodies are fucking a mess, right? Because they're partly a mess because we've psychically compartmentalized ourselves because of the belief structure we're soaked in. Right, so now we go, well, I've got a liver problem, so I better go and see the liver specialist. No, you need to see someone who understands the whole fucking system. This is why I like Chinese medicine better, because it sees the whole system. Right, it's go, everything's happening. This is what acupuncture is, right? So when I first learned this from acupuncture, you got a sore knee and then you find the guy stuck the needles in here. Why? Because the pain is manifesting, but it's coming from here.
Yeah, I mean,
right. Referred. Why? Because the whole system's fucking connected. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can take a bit of both. I mean, like I did acupuncture and it helped me with my knee, but then of course the two people doing it said, they were like, oh, it'll cure your asthma and this, that, and the other. I went, they won't. I know that. So it's like, okay, but I'm an open skeptic. I tried it. It worked on some things and didn't work on others, and I'm willing to, of course, take Western medicine, this, that, the other, take the bits that make the most sense. I don't subscribe completely to one or the other,
Also, it's this. Also, you don't have to. Why? Because your body and your genetics and your psyche and everything is different to someone else.
As a ginger.
Right? So you may go in and get acupuncture and it works for this, but it doesn't work for them on this. Right? Why? Because that's why a vaccine is ridiculous. One size doesn't fit all.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
Right? Because also when you're healing, say you went in to get the way you heal also has to do with your emotional state, your psychic state, your belief systems. Why? Because it's all connected.
Well, I mean, that's part of
so if someone's getting acupuncture for something, but inside there's none of this is going to work. It's all bullshit. No, I really feel. See, that may be what else they have to address to heal. Right? Their psychic world, their loops. This is called self-responsibility. This is how you learn to heal yourself. Why? You have to know yourself. What are your enemies? You're your enemy. Why? Because you're programmed with negative things and traumas, and you've got to look at them and go, right, because we're getting the outside world that we deserve, because we've got an unchecked collective unconscious of our own psychopathy. How many tests are they going to go? You know, we've done enough tests to realize that a murderous thug is in everybody. Jung will tell you better look at the shadow. Why? Because you are a murderous thug as well. You know, are you going to?
I certainly believe that. Yeah.
It's like when I meet pacifists that go, well, I'm a pacifist unless someone touches my children. Well, you're not a pacifist. Right? Just admit it. You're not a pacifist. Right?
Well, I mean,
someone harms your children. You're
everyone's
fucking idiot, right?
Everyone's pacifism will go out the window if there's no food on the shelves in 3 days.
Mate.
Of
course they will. Of course they will. Because this stability is fake. Because you don't know how to look after yourself. Remember that joke Reg Hunter had when he goes, so I watched all the cyclones and that in Georgia where I'm from, right? And you know, I see people they were looting and doing this. He goes, I lived in civilized people, right? Because I'm civilized. I'd seen plays, I read books. He goes, but watching this, I realized, yeah, I'm only one big storm away from sucking cock for a potato.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the veneer of civilization is very thin, you know.
I know that's what's funny about PC people. They have no idea about that thing.
Well, this is the drum that I've been banging for ages. I did a podcast and it was called "Democracy is not the default setting of society," and history dictates that is fucking true, and that people sort of living in the last sunny uplands of, let's say, Western economic growth for the last 30 years, the new emergent middle class post Cold War, etc. There's been a lot of growth, but at the same time, it can all easily be taken away in a heartbeat, as we witnessed over the last 2 years. In that there, you can look at what's happening in, whether it's in Germany, Austria, or France, or some other countries, New Zealand, Australia. The strains of authoritarianism bubbling up to the surface. They don't want to let go of the reins now they have them. And you're like, do you see how quickly that impulse? Hey, emergency powers, no more democracy. That's it. We're not asking you, we're telling you. It's for your own good. And it's like it can literally be like, all right, let's sign that into law. It's there now. Emergency laws. And you go, hey, hang on, what? It's for your own good. And it just moves so quickly, and people I think, especially in a country like Ireland, I mean, I get it, I understand it. We're one of the oldest democracies in the world, or at least in the West. I think there's like us, Malta, and a few other places that were never occupied by, and is by fascism or communism. So, you know what I mean? Obviously, you've got the fucking the empire before that, but for at least 100 years or whatever else, you know, there's an element of parliamentary democracy. People believe naively it can't happen here, which I understand the principle of, but history dictates that it can. Like a cursory reading of the last 400 years dictates that even in Europe, like whether it's obviously with 2 fucking world wars in the last 100 years, or, you know, it's, and many other things, whether you had the Iron Curtain or whatever else, the idea that like it can't happen here is such a soft intellectual way or non-intellectual way of viewing the dangers to democracy. Like you see it now in people going, do we really need free speech? Which comes back to the Jimmy Carr joke. It's one of the tenets, the structures of Western civilization, freedom of speech. And they're like, yeah, but you might hurt someone's feelings or offend somebody. Or it's like, but you know, your duty to offend is greater than the right to be offended, because that the ability to pillory the church or mock institutions of power or mock politicians or whatever else through comedy or anything is the great power or one of the great structures of Western you know, civilization, which with its flaws, as you just discussed, I agree. But at the same time, there are tenets of it that are worth keeping, and if one of them is
Oh,
freedom of speech, like, and people
here's one thing.
people really skirt dangerously with it. They're like, Alan, come on, like, do you really need this? But fucking hell, what are you talking about? It just the lack of understanding of history breaks my brain.
The two things that you mentioned then, one, when people go, "Oh, it couldn't happen here," and see, I look at it like this. I don't know things like sort of academic history like you. I'm more sort of out there in the way I think from stuff I've researched. So when people go,
you're in the asteroid belt, yeah.
yeah. So when people go, "Well, that couldn't happen here," what are you talking about? Anything can happen anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Listen. I took DMT, and I was on the rings at the rings of Saturn, looking at DNA strands. I was fired out into fucking space, and I was like, "Oh, right!" And it was like it was just revealed to me. Here's the DNA strands, the form of human life, and by the way, here's the rings of Saturn, which you're currently orbiting. So I was, DMT, whatever it is, the dream molecule, when you intake it, like, it literally just shot out into space for 20 minutes, and I came back and went, "Oh, I get it now." Like, it super calms you, but I mean, so
not only can
anything, but
not only can anything happen.
Yeah,
everything is happening.
Yeah,
right. There's different timelines going on.
Yeah.
Right. There's different realities. Here's the great transcendent breakthrough of such a global trauma. Right? I'll tell you a story. Well, people believe me or not, I don't care. I know it's true. It happens. I'm on the tube in London. Right? I'm standing here. Here's the door. There was a guy here. There was a woman there. There was a bloke sitting here. I'm standing. I can see through that glass thing of the tube. You know, you've been on the tube.
Yeah.
He's sitting there, right? He had headphones on. He had shorts on. He had his legs crossed. He had really hairy legs. And I remember thinking, "There's some fucking hairy legs you got there, brother." Huh? and then I'm just standing there, right? We have to change tubes, but you only have to walk across the platform. Right? You've got to get off this, walk across the platform. The woman gets up from this seat. I remember everything. So I stand back to let her off first. There's another woman here. So that woman goes off first. That woman went off second. I went off third. So I walked straight across through that tunnel. I was directly at the tunnel, walked straight across. The tube was already there. I walked in. I stood right exactly where I was because the door was already open. I looked down and that bloke was there in the exact same position that he was just there. It's not like he's just settled down. He was there. And it shocked me because I went, he couldn't have got there before me.
Yeah.
And he was there. And my mind was fucking blown and standing there going, I walked into another time loop.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Shit, right. This is fucking full on. This is great. This is where it's sort of, that's why I don't go into the sort of, "Oh, what can we do?" and this, the banking, and is it this and so forth. Yeah, it is. And are we free? No, we're not free. Right? There's a system on the planet, right? And why is this system on the planet? Because you're not free in yourself. We don't know who we are. We don't understand our power. It's massive. We don't understand reality. That's why they've even shifted us to science now, right? Scientists, the science, blah, 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 blah. And even if you look at the way scientists are presented, glass, cold, steel. Even if you look at the manifestation of the aesthetic, it's so anti-nature. They show them in laboratories that's tight with white coats and things and machines and silver and glass. There's nothing organic in there. To me, that's that's the aesthetic manifestation of the ideology. Can't you see it? Look at it, it's showing you. Nature shows you everything. Reality, whatever, shows you everything. There it is. Look at it. Look at its nature. It's got its hands into things that it can't touch with fucking biohazard suits on, going, "Oh, maybe we have to fucking protect ourselves through 50 layers of concrete to even look." What are you doing? right? Right. Nature's already showing you. This is what Indigenous people understand. Don't touch that.
Mm.
This is why I was talking to this black guy the other day in London. I know Dave, a hip hop guy, he's a fucking genius musician guy, songwriter. But he's going, what is it with you white people? You just seem to do things that black people don't do, right? He goes, you look at all these extreme sports, you're out there jumping. I go, I used to think the same thing, right? It's almost like white cunts that just seem to turn up. Is there a cliff? Maybe we could just strap a fucking parachute on and jump off, right? Black people are like, are you fucking kidding me? Right? And he's talking about when I watch this black guy on YouTube. He's so funny. He's watching Jaws, and he goes, mate, 1 second. He goes, I'd go in that sea, mate. He goes, I only walk in about that far anyway. He goes, because I'm not going in there. And I think it's this kind of indigenous thing that people who lived in nature for so long knew. I don't touch that. Why? Well, Bob touched it. Just a fucking and it's nature saying, don't. This is not for you. Right? Just some mysteries are not for you on this level. Right? Yeah. Stay away. And so then they have reverence for these animals, which can kill them. Right? And that goes into shamanic world. Right? Right? Where now we speak to these animals. How? In other dimensions. Right? So we don't fear them. We give them their right to be here. Right? They have every right to be here as much as we do, right? We're in the whole thing, the whole dream, right? And these venomous things, and you don't have to go sticking your finger in its fucking eye to find out its nature. You can go into the ethereal. Mm. Yeah, right? You don't need laboratory tests and stand out there and have it and kill it. Yeah. Kill it and then stick it under a microscope and go, look at this. All you're doing then is looking at the outside manifestation. Yeah. Right. You're just looking at that physical dimension.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, my friend Johnny from Malthusian and Dread Servant and all, he was telling me he had an amazing experience on mushrooms, you know. And now mushrooms are a bit of a heavier trip, different earthy kind of trip than acid or whatever else. But he said he was on the beach, right? This is about, I don't know, 6 months or whatever. And it was like 3 in the morning. Him and a few other people are on the beach and they were drinking and they were, you know, carrying on and whatever. And he took mushrooms and he said that he went off to lay down for a while underneath this hedgerow. And he said the knot, like the wood underneath the ground of the hedgerow came up out of the ground, held him by the throat and just basically went, don't fucking take me for granted. Don't mock me. You know, don't pollute your body with all this other stuff and then take me and expect you to get the right experience. And held him in place. And he said it was terrifying. But he just said the mushrooms were basically telling him, don't fucking take the piss out of me by, you know, thinking you can just do this after you've been doing a whole day of this other shit or whatever else, polluting your fucking body. Totally, and the next day I was telling him and he was just like, fucking hell, man. I got a bitch slap from the fucking earth. And it was
a cosmic bitch slap.
Yeah. And it was amazing the way he told it, you know, and it's, you know, and sorry for doing injustice to the fucking story, Johnny, but like the way he just goes, just come out of the ground and fucking grab me. And like, he just like sobered him up instantly. And it's just like, holy shit. And that comes back into that sort of conscious things. Now, you know me, I'm a fucking open skeptic. I'm not a cynic, but an open skeptic. But at the same time, having done all of those kind of drugs, certainly having felt like, oh, I've communed with something other than whatever these fucking four walls of consciousness we have, especially mushrooms and things like that will, or even acid, you know, will distort and those things of reality. I've done it. Yeah, of course, you know. So we've probably done it together, actually, from somewhere or other, you know. But yeah,
well, you know, it's also, I don't know what about me, but I've always just, even when I started reading shamanic books in the 90s, and there's part of my brain that's natural. It's always just gone. Of course, this is not what we think it is. I've always just known that. I've always just been intrigued by, you know, people go, you know, you reckon you could walk through walls? I'm like, yeah, I think you fucking could. Why? And then you just hear on the grapevine, all scientists go, it's just matter moving very quickly, isn't it? Right. So they'll tell you this, just right. So really, it's not solid, The scientists will tell you that. You know, the gods, right? They'll tell you that it's not solid, really. course, if you run headlong into it with the consciousness that you're at, you'll fucking knock yourself out.
It's just a swirling mass of atoms, really, isn't it? You know.
Yeah. Right. So, and then you even have to ask yourself, do atoms exist? Right? I don't know.
All right.
I'm always, that's why I don't go for sort of, hey, I've got an answer. I don't try to tell anyone, hey, I've got an answer, because, you know, it's a trip. I mean, as I said, you've taken fucking psychedelics. You've gone into these things. You've gone into deep. You know.
Well, like I said, when I took that DMT, when I took the DMT that time, and it fired me off into space, and it was just like, oh yeah, of course you're at the rings of Saturn, you know. Or I mean, another time I remember being in like
Saturn is a big planet in conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I remember being on a trip and being in a cracked riverbed on Mars, just like on the red planet, just being like lying in a cracked riverbed and going to myself, there was once water here, I'm pretty sure about this, and then looking down at the earth and being like, oh yeah. And I mean, in reality, I was just lying on the floor of my apartment, but at the same time, it was just like, basically, you went to the red planet, you know, and it came back. It was a brutal 25, well, however long it was. And then, yeah, you know, and like I said, I'm sort of like between those states in the sense that I'm quite an open skeptic of most things. But yeah, having done those things and seen them as well, I'm like, I get it.
Reality.
Yeah. But at the same time, I've completely like let go and head off, been shot out into space as well. So
I just pictured that'd be a good drawing of a guy that's in between worlds, where he's holding onto the edges of a building while shamanic goddesses are pulling his feet into the other side. I don't know.
This sounds like a thrash metal album cover from 1987 or 88. Yeah. And Edward Repka kind of like, you know, I can see it exactly.
I mean, the first time you know, when I did fucking ayahuasca, man, the first night.
Oh, yeah. What was that like?
Well, I couldn't. That was almost like that. I didn't go in the first night because it was almost like, it was so intense, and I was in such a state trying to heal from all the fucking breakdown of that it was like the shaman guy just pulled me out. So I was like, I went halfway in. I was like, no, I can't. I won't let go. It was almost like you could feel the ego, like I'm not fucking going. Right?
Yeah.
That's how it felt to me. Like the mind was like, no. No, right? We're not going, right? I'm freaking out, right? Because it's fucking intense, right? The mind is fucking full on, right? So the next 2 nights I went, oh well, you know, Jesus Christ, you know.
Yeah.
You certainly don't want to do that by yourself in your fucking apartment.
Well, of course, all these things are never quite. I mean, even the last time I took DMT, I remember we're still sitting around my friend's house, and everybody's sitting on the couch, and I was staring at the light shade, the lampshade, and all of a sudden the lampshade just turned into all the planets and just started to move around, and I was just there looking, going, all right, so that's how fast Neptune and Pluto or whatever it is goes, and blah blah, and then you just get 15 minutes of, oh yeah, I know that now. Anyway, and then all of a sudden you come down and you're back into whatever. I always found it really calming, you know, like I always really liked the combination of all the stuff, because I don't think I have that same, like, you have to kind of let go of your fear when you're going to be flung out into space. So I never really had lots of deep seated stuff that was going to push me the other way. So I could be in the room with people fucking chatting and talking shite, and then looking at, okay, the wall's going to disappear now, and then I'm going to be, oh, okay, well, we can live.
I'm surprised some tree hasn't come to the window and grabbed you.
but I never felt like, I always felt like deeply respectful of those things in my own, even though, you know, of course there's an indulgent side to it, but especially psychedelics, you try and hold them in a little bit more reverence, and so you don't.
I would now at this age. I mean, of course, when I was young, it was like,
You're just like pleasure to kill and fucking yeah.
But actually, no, I never really put music on when I fucking tripped.
It's not really my thing either.
Yeah. No, I was too busy fucking laughing and freaking out and fucking running around, sweating.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was young, to me, acid was like, it was. Here's what I mean. It's almost like when I came to Earth, it was almost felt. I've always felt like I'm a bit trapped. This is like I've always felt. Oh, it's a bit.
Try growing up in Ireland. That's fucking.
Well, no, I mean just in the body and everything.
I know,
like everything was so. The physical dimension was so slow.
Mm.
It's probably why I got into such extreme music, right? Because everything just we got and you bang your hands, and then when you take acid, it was like I was unleashed this
yeah.
like a cosmic ocean that I could just fucking go berserk.
It is. Well, that's what they say. It's like your third eye opening, whatever. I mean, that's kind of how it feels. I mean, I took it about 2 months ago, actually, maybe 6-7 weeks ago, and it was great. Really, really, it's like I've forgotten how much I really enjoyed this. Now, obviously, it's a longer haul in physically when you're a bit older to go like. All right, hour 7, hour 6, or whatever, But it was pretty, because that's only the snippets. That's like the afterglow that you're still getting bits of this, that, and the other. But I don't know, like all of those things, I never approached them with much fear. As in, I never felt some deep unconscious trauma to come out. I always felt like, I'm going to roll with this and see where it brings me. And
I never had much. I never had fear until I took that ayahuasca.
Oh yeah,
but I was in a state as well.
Yeah.
I'm not.
How long did ayahuasca last for?
14 hours.
Okay. And did you do the vomiting thing, or how does it go?
No, I did a massive cleanse for like fucking 3 weeks before it. These people.
Okay.
Sort of get rid of that. And then
speed metal cleanse.
How do you fucking describe it? I don't fucking know. Do you? Are you supposed to tell anyone? I don't fucking know. Yeah. The only thing I remember is one thing I remember is just going lying there and going. The shaman's in the corner, and I just go. This is intense. He goes. I know. Keep breathing.
Yeah. It's good advice. It's good.
What are you going to do? Keep breathing.
Hang on, let me press the